Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Tony Plays The Binding of Isaac. Hope everyone's doing good, everyone's chilling. Going about their day nice and lovely. Today, I accidentally started a run literally right before recording, as you can see here, 0 seconds. So, we will be playing this run, Magdalene. That's on me, my bad. I had to clear my throat also, my apologies. But yeah, that's on me, 100% my bad. I will accept full responsibility for that. Anyways, that aside, how y'all doing? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty okay, honestly. Mainly kind of just chilling, enjoying my day, waiting for, I guess, the weekend, one might call it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I am very excited for this weekend. Not necessarily anything in specific. More so, I was, what's the word I'm thinking of? I was looking forward to what they call, one, the weekend, just to be able to chill, but two, I've also been looking forward to that dumb game, what's it called? Arc Raiders. And also, I believe in 3 days, there is going to be news in regards to the most recent Halo feature, Halo title. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be trash? We don't know. Not really a way to... The stairway. Not really a way to know. Okay, that was a goated start. Not really any way to truly know what's gonna happen coming up forward. Hopefully, good news regarding the Halo franchise. However, to be completely honest with y'all, I'm a little worried, and the main reason I say that is because if you guys are unaware, I think it was early last week or something like that, not too long ago, there was... No, I mustn't blow it up. I mustn't blow it up, alright? I must have morals. I think it was sometime early last week or something like that, not too long ago from the date of this recording, which is... what is that? October 21st, 2025. There was a so-called release of information. I don't know if it was a leak or what exactly. What I am aware of is essentially a statement saying that Halo Studios has generative AI woven into every aspect of development. And I'm gonna be real with you, as someone who is a very deep fan of the Halo franchise, seeing the words generative AI near my baby of a video game, you know, truth be told, it's got me a little in fear mode, you know, in panic mode of, oh, my game is gonna be cooked, you know what I mean? That might not be the case genuinely. However, it's a legitimate fear that I have after seeing news that I'm not too happy with. Can you blame me? I'm gonna be honest with you. Can you blame me? It makes sense, right? One of your favorite video game series of all time that some might say naively I still support in these trying times a lot of the time. And I'm expecting what? Potentially good news to come from them. And the most recent form of news I receive is saying one of the biggest pieces, essentially tainting and, in my opinion, destroying a whole bunch of creative avenues in different industries, has been woven into, like, you know, it's woven into the development of the next game. Like, come on, bro. You cannot blame me for wanting to be like, it might be over. It genuinely might be over for Halo Studios. However, there was another article that had came out, I think, a few days ago that essentially was like, this is a drastic overstatement, and insiders or whatever can confirm it is not as bad as you guys are thinking. this shit was blown way out of proportion. You know what I mean? Granted, that may or may not be true. I am not the guy who can really determine slash see if that's the case. To be completely, to keep it a complete stack with y'all, you know what I mean? Well, that's really good. Let's grab this real quick, actually. Let's grab that for that, which is pretty solid. Alright, and then we grab this again. All I gotta say is, look, to be completely honest with y'all, alright? All I truly gotta say is, can you blame me for being a little bit worried, okay? Genuinely, can you blame me for being a little bit worried? And also, kind of the way both things go is, from what I'm aware, none of both responses are coming from real, full, official-ass sources, I guess you would call it. So there's that whole, you know, you gotta take this with a grain of salt kind of deal. There is that you gotta take it with a grain of salt aspect, and I'm gonna be real with you, I am taking it with a pretty large grain of salt. Coming from both avenues of, yes, guys, the game will not have AI, and the game is gonna have AI as like a key component woven into the aspect of this game. You know what I mean? I'm a little worried on both ends, but that's just kind of the way it is in that sense. I'm not saying it's good, but it's just, you know, when you both got he said, she said going on, an insider essentially claiming, no, this is not like, this is not what they mean, and another insider essentially being like, bro, they are ruining your game with AI. You kind of got to let me, you know, you kind of gotta see where I'm coming from when I'm thinking, truly, we will not know anything until game is out and we see what's good, essentially. You know what I mean? You can't really blame me until game is out and we just gotta see what's good with what's happening. You feel me? Is the game actually cooked slash done for? Or is generative AI not actually used in every avenue of it? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, alright? It's just a little, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just a whole bunch of shit going on, you know what I mean, man? And it's got me a little worried, but we will ultimately find out, I guess, coming near the end of this week, when there is going to be an announcement regarding new Halo stuff. Now, is it gonna be good? I'm gonna be real with you, I'm hoping it is. To keep it a complete stack with you, I'm hoping to see a lot of goodness come out of that avenue. Will it happen? Fuck if I know, you know what I mean? Alright. I give. I yield. You guys have been eating too much of my hearts. I don't appreciate that. We're supposed to go Mega Satan. No, we're supposed to go up path. We're not even supposed to go Mega Satan. We could, if we wanted to. I don't know, I guess it just depends how I'm feeling. Well, I got the keys to the kingdom anyway, so they don't really matter. But yeah, it's essentially, it's a whole, I guess you could call it a whole ordeal. I'm a little worried. I want nothing but the best for one of my favorite game series. But is what it is. We just gonna have to wait and find out. I think the 24th it is, so what is that, Thursday? No, today's Tuesday. Friday? Apparently. We'll see. We'll wait and see. That's essentially it. We're just gonna have to wait and see, and you guys will get my reaction on the comings and goings of it. Most likely Saturday morning on that episode. But is what it is, you know? Truth be told, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Life goes on or whatever. Bada bing, bada boom, you know what I mean? All I gotta say is I hope y'all are doing well. Better than me, you know? Better than I'm doing right now at the moment. I'm doing okay, I'm doing solid, I guess. More so, just kind of had a long day, you know how it is. You know how it be in that avenue, sometimes you just gotta have a long day. And you kind of want to relax or chill out. As for me, do I get to relax / chill out? Not really at the moment, but you know what? I've come to terms with that, and that's A-okay. Although I'm probably, just after this episode, I'm probably just gonna lay down, maybe take a nap. I'm gonna be real with you, I don't know. You guys know how I feel about naps. If you actually are unaware about how I feel about naps, that's on me, my bad. I think they're great. I think naps are like a potentially really good thing. However, every time that I've taken one, I feel like I go too long and I feel like shit afterwards. And if I'm not taking just essentially sleep, then a part of me feels like I'm not getting the most out of my naps. You know what I mean, bro? It might sound like a dumbass like statement, but I'm being 100% real. I be feeling like I don't be napping. You know what I mean, bro? I just don't nap like that. And every time I hear about people taking naps or whatever, I'm like, man, I low-key kind of wish I could kind of do it like that, bro. But no, I do not. I can't nap. I don't know what it is. If you ask me, Tony, what's up? I don't know. I don't know, bro. It just don't click with me like that. You feel me? You guys picking up what I'm putting down here? Maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, to be completely honest with you, bro, for the most part, I'm probably just gonna fucking play some game. I don't know what. Maybe, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Been thinking about playing Metroid Dread again, not for any reason in specific, more so just because, I mean, I can, and it's been a minute since I've actually engaged with that game. And it's not like the game is bad or anything. I mean, God almighty, y'all be hearing the way I talk about Metroid. I fucking love that game. Can you pay out? Yes! That's what we call goated, baby. Anyways, like I was saying. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Freaking, I love Metroid Dread. And I have been wanting to play it again. Although there is this one game that I have recently started playing. A friend of mine, I guess you could say he recommended it to me. More so, he literally was just looking at his Steam and he found a random ass indie game in the same vein as what's it called? In the same similar vein to Metroid, like NES Metroid, which I'm gonna be honest with y'all, alright, you know. I get it. Tony be yapping about anything, whatever. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. To be completely, like, keep it a stack. I love Metroid games. They're some of my favorite games of all time. I think they're really good. However, I feel like whenever someone tries to make a Metroidvania in the similar vein to Metroid, I feel like everyone always tries to, or at least it's kind of what I've noticed. It always seems like they're made in the same vein as the original Metroid. You know, what's that one other Metroidvania that's like in just literally Metroid-like? It's not a Metroidvania, it's a Metroid-like pretty much. Axiom Verge, if I remember correctly. Look at Axiom Verge and compare it to like the look of NES Metroid. Tell me that's not the same exact game, bro. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've heard phenomenal things about Axiom Verge. I haven't played it myself yet. However, if I'm gonna be completely real, there are some things kind of clouding my judgment / not really wanting to touch the game or whatever. And it's not because it looks like the game is bad, but the game looks too much like NES Metroid, which, if you are unaware about how I feel about NES Metroid, I think it is really bad. I don't like NES Metroid like at all, brother. I'm gonna be completely real with you. I'm a hater of NES Metroid. I don't know what it is, man. It's just not that good. The gameplay is clunky as all hell. And it's not like, oh, Tony, you hate Metroid 1? No, because I love Zero Mission. Zero Mission is a phenomenal way to remake a video game. And it's just really good. Zero Mission is goated as all hell. However, it's also like not even, it's also it's like practically a different game, bro, compared to NES Metroid, man. And I'm not even joking. Actively compare the two. Genuinely actively compare the two. You will immediately notice the difference between NES Metroid and Zero Mission, man. It's just, Zero Mission has the better feel. It's got the better like way to it. Looks instantly better, you know what I mean? Not to hate on the NES, you know, but in my opinion, the SNES is the better console. But I feel like that's a fucking no-brainer, you know what I mean? Everyone agrees that SNES is a better console. It just simply makes sense for it to be. But there's something bad about NES Metroid. It just is really bad. I don't fuck with it, bro. I don't fuck with it. The music, catchy as it is on occasion, it's just a little too grating, bro. It just don't got it like that, bro. It can think it does. It can think it got it like that as much as it might want to, but at the end of the day, it really don't got it the way that SNES Metroid does, aka Super Metroid. But granted, in that similar vein, you can kind of just call out, nothing is as goated as Super Metroid, and nothing will ever be as goated as Super Metroid, except for maybe Metroid Dread and Metroid Fusion, but that's just my opinion. Not everyone's gonna agree, and everyone's probably gonna get some choice words for Tony for saying that. But being dead ass when I say that, that's genuinely how I feel. I genuinely feel as though SNES Metroid, why do I keep calling it SNES Metroid? Super Metroid is like insanely good, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I love Metroid Dread more than I love Super Metroid. And same goes with Fusion. Granted, there could be some bias with Fusion because it is like my first Metroid. However, I also got I got the knowledge to know that it's damn good. It's damn good. I don't care what anyone says. You could be like, Tony, you're biased, but it's also Metroid Fusion is damn amazing, bro. I don't care what anyone says. Diss me all you want. It's the facts. All right. Metroid Fusion is a damn good game. You can go ahead and fight me on that one. That I will argue. And by I will argue, I mean I will, you know, have a friendly discussion regarding it. But I'm already made well aware how I feel about arguing with random strangers online. It's not something I engage with. It's not something that I make a habit of doing. Because it's just not fun for anyone involved. Tony, we don't argue to have fun. We argue to make our point. Go to an online discussion forum and like do it there. You know what I mean? Go argue on Reddit or something. Don't argue with me in my comment section or whatever. But I will have a friendly discussion about it if I am well, you know, versed in who you are as a human being, aka a friend. But yeah, you know, you guys know how it is at the end of the day. Come on, you guys understand me. You guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. That was low-key way easier than I would have imagined. I'm gonna be real. Here's what it is. What can you do? But I mean, yeah, I like Metroid. I'm a big fan. However, I feel like every single freaking like fan game or game that wants to be like Metroid is always a really like SNES Metroid, or really like NES Metroid. Which, I mean, come on, just like copy Super Nintendo, copy Metroid Fusion, you know what I mean, bro? Make a banger in that way. Especially Super Metroid. Some people would consider Super Metroid to be the greatest SNES game, you know what I mean? The greatest SNES title. Would I agree with that? You gotta give me a minute, but I'd have a hard time disputing it, I'm gonna be honest with you. You gotta give me a second to think about it, but I'm also not gonna dispute it because I'm gonna be real with you. I think it's probably just true. I think it's just a genuine, real statement. Is Metroid, Super Metroid, the best SNES game? I think, yeah, it is. No discussion. Wait, nah, okay, maybe not, then maybe not. You see, people could change. Maybe not, mayhaps not, alright? You might be thinking, Tony, you were just going ride or die for Super Metroid. What could have possibly changed? I remembered Donkey Kong Country. If you ain't never played Donkey Kong Country, brother, do I have something for you. It genuinely might also be one of the greatest Super Nintendo games ever created, no contest, genuinely. And that's what makes the discussion so hard. But if you said, Tony, what about Super Mario World or, you know, other Donkey Kong Country games? Look, I love DKC 2, but if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I think if you were to pit two bad bitches against each other, aka Metroid, Smoid, I'm gonna start calling it Smoid the way me and my friends normally do. If you were to pit Smoid against, what's it called? DKC, brother? You know, that seems way more normal, I guess, in that sense. Rather than pitting DKC against DKC 2, you know what I mean? Like, one game per genre, and I think the first game is the best. Might be debatable, but that's my opinion. And you can have yours. While I have mine. But you know, this is what it is. This is what it is. I absolutely love Donkey Kong Country. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's great. I could say the exact same thing about Super Metroid. And I think that's where the discussion, that's where the real interesting discussion kicks in that instance. I think that's where the real interesting discussion is to be had. Smoid or Donkey Kong Country? Good question. But anyway, that aside, arguing about what is the best freaking, what's it called? What is the best Super Nintendo game aside? Genuinely, it just kind of seems / feels like everyone wants to go for the regular Metroid. But no one is out here going, shooting for the stars, dare I say, for, what's it called? I feel like no one is out here shooting for the stars, okay? In terms of, let's try and make a game that is really in the similar vein to Super Metroid or Metroid Fusion. Especially considering Metroid Fusion came out in 2004, bro. It's been 21 years, you telling me ain't no one out there tried to replicate that sort of game style. You know what I mean? Tony, all Metroid games are, no they're not, no they're not, no they are not. Everyone tries to go with that retro classic look of Metroid, the original. But I really feel like if you want to truly choose that GOAT art style, you gotta choose Fusion, you gotta choose Smoid. I think they look easily the best out of all Besides Dread, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not expecting some indie guy to make a Metroidvania and have it look as good as Metroid Dread does. You know what I mean? And low-key, same with my Metroid Prime likes. You know what I mean, bro? Granted, I will say it, out of all genres, I feel like it low-key would be the hardest to do Metroidvanias. That's a genuine thought I have. I think out of all genres to try and make a really 10 out of 10 standout game in that sense, I feel like it would be hardest to do it with Metroidvanias, considering the challenges in needing to make it as, what's the word I'm thinking of? As phenomenal as you can make it. You know what I mean? You have to have the world interconnect. You have to have everything go in just the right, proper way to essentially be this giant interwoven sort of map that respects not only your time playing it, but also your exploration that you will commit. You know what I mean? I feel like it's kind of hard to make that go down crazy. Truth be told, I applaud Team Cherry. I believe that's the team's name. I'll be real with you. You guys know me. I don't fuck with Hollow Knight like that. I played it for a couple hours and it just wasn't really sitting with me in that sense. But alright, but to be completely honest with you, I do applaud them for making what many might renown as one of the best Metroidvanias of our time. Granted, I still think those people ain't played Metroid Dread. However, that's just my thought. That's just my dumb little thought process. You can go ahead and call me out if I'm wrong. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt in that sense. You know what I mean? I will believe y'all, considering... No, I won't believe y'all. I'll stand by it. I'll stand by it. I do think there's definitely some merit to essentially everyone loving everyone loving Hollow Knight. I'm not gonna be that guy that's like, everyone loves Hollow Knight and I don't. Everyone else is wrong. I'm the genius here. No, there's something that's not clicking with me in that sense, and I will own up to that. I'll see that true. Hollow Knight just ain't for me. However, you know, I'm not gonna hate on the game. It's beloved for a reason. And to me, I don't understand that reason. I don't see the reason, but that doesn't mean it ain't there just because I'm not a huge fan. You know what I mean? But regardless, speaking on that, I will continue on with my original point. I applaud Team Cherry for making an insane Metroidvania that is beloved. I feel like it is hard to kind of pull off the interconnectedness and whatnot. You know what I mean? Dark Souls only did it once, and that was with Dark Souls. Then Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2 didn't have it like that. Didn't have the sauce like that. Dark Souls 3, although it looks phenomenal, and I'm not gonna lie, all right? I'm gonna sit here and be completely honest with y'all. Dark Souls 3 looks phenomenal. It is easily one of the best looking / one of the greatest, possibly unironically the best Dark Souls game out of the Dark Souls trilogy. But it just doesn't have that Metroidvania interconnected world that is beloved that Dark Souls 1 had, and they did it damn good in Dark Souls 1. I will 100% agree to that. Is that what I look for in a Dark Souls game? Not really. That's what people have come to love, though, truth be told. And I don't blame you if that's your feeling. I don't blame you if that's your feeling, if you fell in love with Dark Souls, because, and one of those aspects is its interconnected world makes it so fucking good, you know? I will see where you're coming from and I will co-sign that shit with you, bro. But to me, that's not what I think makes a goated Dark Souls game. I think there's a little bit more that makes a very goated Dark Souls game, and I will 100% give my opinion on that. in another video episode or video or something, you know. But right now I'm talking about Metroid. But yeah, making an interconnected world that like is essential to Metroidvanias, I can definitely see that not being easy, and I applaud Team Cherry for doing that. And I could see why it would be harder for more devs to kind of take that approach, take that aspect, and kind of get it like that, you know what I mean? What am I gonna say though? If anyone does want to go with that undertaking, try and make another good Metroidvania, then all I truly gotta say is, if you do it, can you make it look a little bit more like Super Metroid or Metroid Fusion? Now, of course, I doubt the next big Metroidvania dev is out here watching a Tony video. However, if somehow one of y'all watching my videos, you know, a constant viewer, anyone that just throws me on in the fucking background or whatever, if one of y'all does happen to be a game dev who's looking to make a go-to Metroidvania, one, you know, let's do business, let's talk. Jokes aside, unironically. Two, I don't necessarily think I have the world's greatest advice on planet Earth. However, I will say, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it might help you stand out from the crowd a bit if your game looked a bit more like Super Metroid or whatever, instead of just the super pure retro look that they do with like Axiom Verge and Zexion. Zexion, granted, not dissing that game at all. I'm in love with it from what I've played so far. But you know, just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there, y'all. Just throwing that out there, you know. Never hurts to throw a little fun out there, you know, shoot the shit. Talk about whatever we want to talk about, you know, guys. Just saying, you know, just saying. I feel like it's not a bad thing, you know? I feel like it's not horrible. I personally think it could be a good idea, you know what I mean? Soul Heart. That was bad damage on my end. 30 coins? Nah. I don't want 30 coins, man. Who wants 30 coins? I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not the guy to be out here making these executive decisions. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm just the guy who likes to give his opinion on certain things. It is what it is, you know? Half the time, it's kind of just Tony just low-key shooting the shit with the fake audience he's talking to right now. Hope y'all understand. But yeah, you know what I mean, bro? Just make the art style look like a Metroid forehead. Just make it look like a Super Metroid forehead. I know. Believe me, I'm probably, you know, I'm definitely way oversimplifying how the shit can go or whatever. I'm well aware, you know, that's not that isn't falling, it's not lost on me is what I'm trying to say. That shit is not lost on me, all right? I'm well aware it's not that simple to just make the game look good, forehead, you know what I mean? I just need to hire someone that can perfectly mimic the art style of the older Metroid titles, but not as easy as the what's it called? As like SNES, or damn it, why do I keep calling it SNES? NES Metroid. Shit, I'll learn. You know what? Speaking of saying I'll learn, a part of me low-key has wanted to get back into that. It's kind of in a weird sense. You know what I mean? I know it might sound a little crazy, but I'm being 100% dead ass with you, or with y'all. There is some part of Tony that has kind of wanted to pick up art, I guess, in that instance. You know what I mean? there's a weird part of me that wants to seek out creation. Granted, I will say I don't think I can achieve that the same way other people do. You know, I feel like a lot of people out there have dedicated a whole bunch of their life and whatnot. Me, I would be an employed human being trying to get better at art. That's not to make the excuse of like, oh, Tony, you're giving up already. No, I'm not necessarily giving up already. However, you know, take a gander into that, you might realize it's probably easier for someone in that, you know, who's unemployed to be out here truly achieving their highest potential with their art. You know what I mean? And to that, I gotta say, understand. Oh, I left the room. That was Godhead in there. That was Godhead. I'm a moron. I ran out to try and... What did I even try to grab? Was it anything important? Oh, clearing a room? I thought killing enemies. No, that's vampire. I'm a moron. That's vampire that does that. Have you ever heard that Freddie Gibbs song? It's like, oh baby, give me one more gram.
He's self-destructive.
Like, sell me some crack.
Like his father.
Something like that. It's such a funny ass song.
Your truck is better on you. Shut up, man. Shut up.
Sung in the cadence of I Want You Back by the Jackson 5.
Fine without you. Abandon us like you abandoned yourself.
But I'm be just I don't know, man. You know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I could release that inner potential or whatever of doing art. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. I feel like I'm kind of too hooked on video games for that to be my thing. And I mean that in the most genuine like way too. That's not a joke either. I play a lot of video games, like y'all know, bro. I play a lot. I literally record Isaac every single day right before hopping on the game to just play for hours on end. Oh, Tony, hopping on Isaac every day doesn't necessarily mean everything. I've been doing this for the past 300 days, bro. One, I've been doing this for the past 300 days. Two, all right, two. These episodes are like, I don't even know if I told y'all this. These episodes usually range from like 20 to crazy high amounts of minutes. I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. And overrides Dr. Fetus. I can't do that. In good faith, I can't grab that, because what if it makes my swords explode? I would, I think, kill myself in the most easy manner, and it would be embarrassing as all hell. I play too much video games, you know what I mean? I feel like I play too much video games to truly kind of commit, I guess, if I wanted to develop my art, one, consistently, because I'd consistently be on the fucking game, but two, at a, you know, at a decent pace outside of taking 10 years, because, oh, guess what? Tony decided to spend so much of his time playing, you know, some random bullshit instead of focusing on his art or whatever. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, that's low-key kind of what got me also with Metroid, is that I feel like I don't really have a game right now to commit to, which is why I have that feeling of I kind of want to go back to Metroid. You know, Metroid can keep me busy in the meantime while I wait for Arc Raiders or some other third thing to come in and save my life. You know, probably won't save my life at the end, but you know, it's just I'm just shooting the shit with y'all, you know, just hammer conversation or whatnot.
We need you. You're
Your son needs you. I keep forgetting to turn this off, bro. I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. I keep forgetting that they recently added the feature to turn off this dialogue, and I've never done it yet. And I feel like I always mention it every single time I'm on this route. That's not a joke either. That's 100% facts. I feel like I'm always mentioning it every single time we take this route. Revelation. It's good. It's not the greatest, but it's good. Oh, but yeah, man, I'm gonna be completely real with y'all. All right, I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I just kind of wanna. I want a good Metroid game. I want a good Metroid fan game, because I know it can exist. All right, I'm well aware. I'm well aware that they do exist out there. However, I feel like all of them are. I've made this complaint before. I feel like a lot of Metroidvanias out there are too close to Castlevania than they are Metroid, genuinely. It always feels rare to find a Metroidvania that isn't just, or that is, you know, similar to Metroid and not Castlevania. You know what I mean? I'm being 100% real with that fucking statement too. That's genuine. That's genuine, real Tony opinion there. I feel like there's too many Castlevania Metroidvanias and not enough Metroidvanias. And maybe the world would be a little better if there were a little bit more Metroidvanias. You know what I mean? I feel like all everyone needs is a good, solid run of Metroid Dread or Super Metroid, Smoid. You know what I mean? Like, in order to get my Metroid fix, I gotta start playing ROM hacks, which I have done in the past. I have engaged with the art of ROM hacks. They're damn good. They're goated as all hell. Oh, baby, give me 1 more gram. Tell me that dope. Oh, no, won't you please let me sell me that dope? Smoke some crack, something like that. I forget how the song goes. It's very funny. I don't know if it's actually Freddie Gibbs singing it, but I love Freddie Gibbs, and it's someone, you know, that sounds like him, so it makes it really funny, because it's like, this low-key is a Freddie Gibbs song, bro, you know? To be 100% real, this low-key is a Freddie Gibbs song. Easy money, bro. But I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. I just want more Metroid likes. I just want more Metroid games. I feel like Nintendo ain't been doing enough with the IP, dare I say, you know? Crazy statement, you know. You might say, crazy statement. Tony, you guys are getting Metroid Prime 4. What do you mean they're not doing enough? Brother, we're getting Metroid Prime 4 after how many years? You know? How long has it taken Metroid to get a new game in its Prime series, and a new game in its mainline series, brother? The gap between Metroid 4 and Metroid 5, aka Fusion and Dread, was 18 years, I want to say? 18 whole ass years? Please tell me once again how, you know, Metroid is doing something with that series, bro. Genuine question. Because maybe I'm just misinterpreting it, but it really seems like they ain't doing anything with the game, bro. At least they're not doing what they should be doing. And that's making true unfiltered peak. There you go. But I don't know, bro. You know, world's #1 Metroid enjoyer just wants more Metroid games. Anyways, that about wraps it up. Want to thank y'all for watching. If you guys did enjoy, greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good day and or good night, depending on time reviewing this. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.